Hi guys, welcome back to 3UNDR3. Today I'm going to be taking you through weeks 24 to 34 of my twin pregnancy, all the ups and downs, the fun stuff, the good stuff, and of course, as the title indicates, some of the complications that I've experienced as a twin mom. It's been a little bit rocky the past few weeks, but I wanted to share it with you guys because I feel like there just aren't a lot of videos out there from moms who are having twins and kind of what they're going through. So I thought it would be good to share my experience and hopefully somebody finds it useful. So with that, let's get started. Okay guys, so let's get into it. I haven't really done an update on anything to do with the twins since 24 weeks. Reason being, it wasn't intentional. I just had some other video ideas that I really wanted to do, and I wanted to get them out there for you ahead of time. And on top of that, from weeks 24 to about 32, nothing really happened. It wasn't super eventful. I was really lucky and everything had gone very smoothly for me, and yeah, there was just not that much to talk about. I guess I could have showed you a belly shot. I will do that for you though. I'll do it now. Somewhere I'll throw pictures of my stomach as I talk about the different weeks in, so you guys can kind of see my progression. It got substantially bigger since the last time that I posted a video, so that's fun. But aside from that, not too much has changed. As you guys can see, I am currently sitting in the twins nursery, which is finished, thank goodness, because I'm filming this at 34 and 5 days, and when it gets posted I will be 35 weeks, which is getting really close to my goal of 36 weeks and also getting very close to the average for when twins generally come. So it needed to be finished so that they could come home. So it is done. If you guys are interested in seeing that video and you haven't yet, I will link it up above. I think it comes up here. So check that out if you haven't already. It's super cute and I'm super proud of it. Like, my husband and I are thrilled. He did such a good job helping me, and well, everyone that helped me was amazing. So it came together exactly how I wanted and I couldn't be happier. It's my favorite room in the house, which is probably why you'll see me film in it so much. But yeah, so with that, weeks 24 to 28, I didn't have any appointments at all between the two. And then my 28-week appointment, everything went totally smooth. The twins measured at the 15th to 20th percentile, which is where they were measuring at 24 weeks. So that was great. Doctor had no concerns, aside from the fact that my iron was a little bit low. So they put me on an additional iron supplement. But aside from that, everything was going really well. I was starting to feel really tired, and I was also starting to feel just really large. By 28 weeks with twins, that's when most people go off work, because you're just getting to the point where like you're almost the size of a full-term singleton pregnancy. And anybody that's been pregnant and had a baby before, you know how uncomfortable you are by the end. Like by 40 weeks with a baby, even just one, it's a lot, and it just makes you so tired. You just can't function the way you normally would. So my doctor and I agreed that I would go off work around 30 weeks because I was doing really well and I just felt like I could push that extra 2 weeks out, and I didn't want to be sitting at home doing nothing when I could be working. So my plan was to go every 2 weeks after 28 weeks. So one of my appointments would just be a checkup, and then the following would be an ultrasound. So at 30 weeks, I was supposed to go for a checkup and just make sure everything was good. However, my daughter, Amelia, needed to go to the ER because she was not feeling well, and we just had to take her in. And we had to take her to Sick Kids in Toronto, unfortunately, which meant that we were there all night. It was quite the ordeal, very stressful, and I did not make it home in time to go to my appointment at 7:30 the next morning. So my OB was really fine with it. She was like, you know what, it's okay. Like, you didn't have an ultrasound or anything. It was just like a blood pressure and measuring your like height of your uterus. So you're good. We'll just see you in another 2 weeks at 32 weeks. So at 32 weeks, actually it would have been just before 32 weeks because I go every Wednesday and my week falls on a Sunday. So I was 31 and a half weeks and I went for my ultrasound, went to see my OB, and I will preface this with the fact that I worked on the Monday and I went to the doctor on the Wednesday. Prior to the Monday, I had been really, really sick. Everyone in our house got some kind of like flu or virus. I don't know what it was. It was just terrible. Like, I actually thought I was going to go into labor because my cough was so bad. I said to my husband, like, if I can't stop coughing, like, I'm going to have these babies because it's so aggressive. And I couldn't eat anything and I couldn't drink anything. Like, I was just really feeling terrible. And I was a little bit worried about it, but it resolved in time for me to go to work on Monday, thankfully. And then I went to my appointment on Wednesday and I was feeling, I don't know, I'd say it was like an 8 out of 10. I wasn't 100% better, but I was definitely way better than I had been the week prior and over the weekend. So had my ultrasound and then I met with my OB. She asked how I was feeling and I said I was feeling pretty good, that I had been sick, but that I was much better now. And she said, okay, so like you've been off work for a couple weeks now, because she had expected me to stop working at 30 weeks. And I was supposed to get my note to stop working at 30 weeks at my 29.5-week appointment, which I missed. So I actually said to her, I'm like, no, I was working 2 days ago because I had to miss my last appointment. I didn't get my note. And other than like being sick, that I was feeling okay. So I just kind of, again, I just pushed through to 31 weeks and I'm still working at 31 weeks pregnant with twins. And I was actually supposed to work up until 33 weeks. I was scheduled. But she said, no, absolutely not. You are effectively off work immediately. And this was like another one of those moments. I've talked about moments like this previously in other videos I've done, where you just get that like weird gut feeling like, oh, that's kind of alarming. The way that you presented that to me was a little bit like aggressive and more forceful than what I was expecting it to be. And she said, yeah, you cannot go to work anymore. Like, you're done. You're finished. I'll write you off. Do you have the form with you? Like, we're done. And I was like, okay, sure. And then she sat down and she said, so we need to talk. Baby B is great. Baby B is traditionally, has been on my left and has been the smaller baby all along. So baby B was always a little bit smaller and kind of up higher under my rib cage on the left side. Baby A was the bigger baby and took up most of the real estate on the right side of my body and was, or has been, head down for a long time. So it was good because in terms of having a normal birth, as long as baby A is head down and baby A is bigger, then that's been something that's been an option for me. So it's been really awesome the way that they've positioned themselves. She told me that baby B is doing really well, has great fluid levels, good blood flow. Like, they're small. I think they had dropped a bit. Baby B was originally at the 15th percentile and had dropped to the 10th percentile. But again, like, nothing alarming, just kind of sort of to be expected with twins. And the fact that my first baby was born so small, they weren't expecting me to have babies at like the 50th or higher percentile. We're expecting me to have small babies as it is. So nothing to worry about. However, baby A was not doing so well at my 32-week ultrasound. So baby A was showing really low levels of amniotic fluid, as well as cord restriction. So basically what that means is that there are 2 arteries in the umbilical cord that take blood to the baby, and then I think there's one that removes blood and brings it back to the mom. And both of those arteries going to the baby were showing like restricted blood flow. So the flow of the river of blood, as my OB explained it, wasn't constant. So normally a river flows constantly all the time, and my river was showing like flow, pause, flow, pause. So there was not a consistent flow of blood getting to the baby. And that's concerning because, for a lot of reasons, because the blood takes oxygen to the baby food to the baby, nutrients, like everything that baby needs comes through that cord. And so if it's obstructed in any way, it obstructs the baby's ability to get what it needs from me. She assured me that it's nothing that I've done. It's nothing that we can really do anything about. It just happens sometimes, and there's no rhyme or reason for it, but it could also be the same thing that happened with my daughter, where basically the placenta, it just stops working effectively, and the cord and the placenta work together, and they just kind of start to, towards the end of pregnancy, they start to deteriorate a little bit. Like, they're not meant to be organs that last a lifetime. They're meant to last for the gestation of the baby, and that's it. So she said, you know, we have to really watch this, because if it gets any worse, then it could be detrimental to the health of the baby. She's like, right now, I want you to go home, and I want you to drink as much water as you possibly can stomach without making yourself sick, because it might help with the amniotic fluid levels. Maybe. She's like, I don't know. Sometimes it helps and sometimes it doesn't, but it can't hurt. So I was like, okay, absolutely. Like, I'm gonna go home and drink as much water as I can and just hope for the best. Fingers crossed. And she scheduled me to come back. This was the Wednesday. She asked me to come back again that Saturday for another ultrasound on the babies and to check specifically baby A and how baby A was doing. So I went home, and as part of my instructions for going home, she also said, you need to make sure everything is, like, all your ducks are in a row. You need to arrange your childcare, you need to get your car seats installed, you need to make sure your nursery is done, like, everything needs to be done, because any appointment that you come in for from here on out could be the day when I say, things don't look good, we're taking the babies. So at this point I was only 31 and a half weeks, and I was kind of freaking out because they were like just shy of 3 pounds. And I said to her, I'm like, if you take them now, like at 3 pounds, are they gonna be okay? Like, 3 pounds, that's so small. And she said, yeah, they would be fine. They would be totally fine. They would have to go to the NICU, but they would be fine. They would end up growing up to be totally healthy, great kids. So that put my heart at ease a little bit, but I'm still nervous. Like, I don't want my kids to be in the NICU if they don't have to be in the NICU. I wanted to keep them in until 36 or more weeks, and we're at 31 and a half. So I'm nowhere near where I want to be. So I went home, drank a lot of water, came back on the Saturday, and thank the Lord, the baby had done a little bit better. So the amniotic fluid was up a little bit. It wasn't as high as they would like it, but it was improving, and the blood flow was not restricted as much. So it was still restricted, but it was improving. So I didn't have to get induced, and I didn't have to have my babies at 32 weeks. Yes. So then from then on out, I've been going to the doctor twice a week. Twice a week. 2 ultrasounds a week, 2 checkups a week. It's crazy. Let me just say, putting it out there, as a mom who has decided that I'm not finding out the gender of my babies, the more ultrasounds that you have, where you have to like hold fast to that and tell the tech, I don't know what they are and I don't want you to tell me, it gets harder and harder every single time. Like, most people have 3, 4 ultrasounds total. I've had 4 ultrasounds in 2 weeks. Like, there are so many opportunities for me to find out who's in there, and I'm not doing it, and it's so hard. Like, it's so hard. So anyways, I just wanted to say that it's the anticipation is killing me. It's killing me, but they'll be here soon. So I won't go into the details of every single appointment, but essentially what has happened is, since that original appointment at 31 and a half weeks, when they said we might have to take the babies today, I've gone for ultrasound, a non-stress test, and just a basic well-being test every Wednesday and Sunday. Wednesday, Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday. For like 2.5 weeks, because I'm almost 35 weeks. I'll be 35 weeks in, like, when this video posts, I'll be 35 weeks. So things have actually gotten way better, which is awesome. So now baby A is fine. They're not worried. Fluid levels are great. Both babies are scoring like a 7.5 to 8 out of 8 on the baby well-being scale, and everything looks good. The cord blood flow, I think, for both babies is very slightly restricted in one of the 2 arteries. But she said again, like, it's not something to worry about. As long as they're still growing, we're okay. They have been plotted as being small. So they are at the 7th percentile as of my 34-week ultrasound, meaning that they weigh around 4 pounds. I think baby A is 3 pounds and 15 ounces, so like 4 pounds. And I think baby B was like 2 ounces less than that. So baby A is still the bigger baby, but only by like 2 or 3 ounces. And they're about 4 pounds. So that was at 34 weeks. It's been almost a week since then. I really can't tell if they've gotten any bigger. Like, it doesn't feel any different. They feel heavy, but I don't know. My hope is that I will make it to 36 weeks still, so 1 more week at least, and then that they will gain, I'd like them to be at least 4.5 pounds. 5 pounds would be amazing. Like, my heart would sing if they were 5 pounds when they were born, but we'll see. I don't know what's gonna happen. So I'm scheduled to go at 35.5 weeks for another ultrasound and checkup, and then I'm scheduled to go again for a growth check, which is when they will check the baby's weight and size at 36 weeks and 3 days. And my OB has kind of let me know in advance that 36 weeks and 3 days appointment, when I get my size of my babies, depending on how heavy they are and what they measure at, that is probably going to be the day that I have them. So we'll see. I am really excited. I don't want to be induced because I was induced with my daughter and it was a totally awful experience. So I would not be upset if they came at like 36 weeks and 2 days by themselves. I'd be totally okay with that. And I might possibly start doing jumping jacks or walking the neighborhood like the day before my appointment, just to try and get things going naturally. If you guys have any tips at all on how to get babies out safely and naturally without being induced, please let me know, because it was just not a good experience and I don't want to do it again. But if it has to happen, then it has to happen. And yeah, so that's basically what's gone on with these little ones in the past few, I guess it's almost been like 2 months, but it doesn't feel that long. It feels like it's flown by, like, whew. It's gone by so fast. But yeah, so we are 35 weeks, so close to making it to our goal of 36. I will be a really proud mama if they stay in there for another week for me. Keep your fingers crossed for me, guys. And I will update you as soon as I know what's going on. If I start to go into labor or anything, I'm gonna try. I got asked a question on Instagram this week about if I'm gonna do a labor and birth vlog, and my plan is to try. My hospital is not very nice about cameras and recording devices in the OR or in the delivery rooms, but maybe I can sneak a few snippets of video here and there, and if I go into labor naturally, then I will try and vlog about what that's like. I may not be in the best state though, so you're gonna have to excuse that, but yeah. So anyways, that's where I'm at. That's how babies are doing. We've been really lucky because things have taken a turn for the better. I could have already had my babies 3.5 weeks ago, which seems crazy, but we didn't have to go through that. If you guys like this video and you want to see more of what's to come with the twins and Amelia and just our whole family and everything that's going on with us, then don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We would love to have you. It means so much to us to have so much support from all of you. I am looking so forward to sharing their birth with you and announcing who they are, because it is so close. It feels like I can't wait anymore.
I just want to know. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, tips for going into labor naturally, or if you've had twins and have any input or things that you would like to share, please leave a comment below. I would love that. And yeah, thanks so much for popping by again, guys. Have a fantastic day.